Shalom. I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Ha, Racha, Chodash, Ma'amath. Double honors to the elder apostles of GMS and their elders. Double honors to my elder, Aharawan Ban Yasharala of the Lions Den Camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. Salutations to the sincere Akim pushing his truth and sincerity around the four corners of this earth. I'm the call Karab Ban Yasharala coming out of the Lions Den Camp of Yasharala here in Jacksonville, Florida. Now today I'll be coming out with a lesson. The title of this lesson is the persecution of the righteous. Because as you know, Esau has been working here lately, day and night, to come up with all kind of manner of laws, restrictions, and grievousness to prescribe and or to put into play to try to label the righteous of Yasharala, such as label them what black identity extremists, domestic terrorists, hate group, and all various manner of different things. But even in those things, that is persecution. And Esau, he's trying to persecute the righteous. He's trying to come against what's right. So let's get that definition of persecute, and then I'm going to go into the word of persecution. This is online etymology dictionary, and this is the word persecute. It says to oppress for the holding of an opinion or adherence to a particular creed or mode of worship. Also means to pursue, to torment, to open legal action. Or, again, to follow, to pursue, to hunt down, to proceed against or prosecute. And that's what Esau is doing. That's what he plans to do. That's what he intends to do. But the Lord is going to lift up a standard and not allow that to happen. But right now, Jake is still being persecuted by Esau. But Esau, he ain't happy with just the wicked of our people. He's trying to bring persecution to the righteous of our people, the men of the Lord, the ones that the Lord is going to lift up a standard for. When Esau come rushing in like a flood. But this is the word persecution. It says oppression for holding of a belief or opinion. It says or persecution, damage, affliction, or suffering. Again, to follow, pursue, hunt down, proceed against, prosecute, or start a legal action. And that's what Esau's doing right now. That's why he's making up all these laws. That's why he's making up all these magical guidelines on these platforms to try to stop the word of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai from coming out. And Esau is using persecution against the true men of the Lord, calling us what? Black identity extremists, trying to label us a hate group, trying to label us domestic terrorists, saying that we're preaching hate, saying that we're speaking hate. Well, that is a form of persecution, and Esau is going to try and take legal action against it. He's already written laws and writing laws to try and stop this truth, to try and come against and persecute the righteous. But this is Psalms chapter 10. I'm going to start at verse 2. It says, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. So the wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. Esau constantly pursues our people. He's constantly taking legal action against our people. He's always hunting our people. He's always prosecuting our people, afflicting them and oppressing them. And he does this in his pride because he thinks nothing is going to happen. But he's going to be taken in the devices that he has imagined, that he has set up. He's going to fall by those same things. Verse 3. The wicked boasteth of its heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom the Lord Yahweh abhorreth. So the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire. And one of his desires, Esau's desire, is to bring persecution on the righteous of Yasharala, to come against us, try and lock us up and throw us in jail. try to demonize us and make us look bad, like we're the ones that are causing the problems when it's Esau all the time. As I've said before in previous lessons, Esau is a habitual line stepper. He goes too far all the time. But Esau, he's always boasting of his heart's desire. Oh, we're gonna do this and 20 this and the year 30 and all this crap that's just never ever gonna happen. It's never ever gonna come to fruition. But he boasts of these things because it is his heart's desire to come against the righteous of Yasharallah, to stay in power forever. But we all know, according to the scriptures, that's not gonna happen. But it says Esau, he blesses the covetous. When you covetous, you always want something somebody else got, and you'll go to any extreme lengths to get it. But Esau, this is who he blessed. He blessed the covetous people. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High, he abhorreth that. And Esau is very covetous, and he blesses himself, meaning Esau give unto his own people. But let's continue. Verse 4. It says, the wicked through his pride, Salakia, the wicked through the pride of his countenance will not seek after Yahweh. Yahweh is not in all his thoughts. So the wicked through his countenance, we all know Esau is very prideful, so through his prideful countenance, he is not going to seek after Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Because why? Yahweh Shai is not in his thoughts, it's not in his heart, it's not in his mind. Verse 5. His ways are always grievous. Thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for his enemies, he puffeth at them. So Esau's ways are always grievous. He's always designing laws, stipulations, statutes, and stopgaps to keep Jake oppressed, to keep our people oppressed. So his ways are always grievous, but the judgments of the Most High are far out of his sight. And as for all Esau's enemies, he puffeth at them. Just look at what he's doing right now. He puffing at Russia, even though they Edomites too, but he puffing at Russia. He puffing at China. Just to name a couple of countries that's ready to put the whoop on this place. He puffeth at his enemies like he think ain't nobody gonna do nothing. But let's continue. He hath said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. So Esau has said in his heart, he shall not be moved. He's never going to be adversity. So Esau was really thinking that, no, he going to be in power forever. Ain't nothing going to happen to him. Nothing or no one. Well, no one is going to take him down. I.e., he don't think that the Lord is going to remove him out of his place. So he's just like, yeah, I ain't finna be in adversity. I ain't finna have no problems. Verse 7, it says, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So Esau's mouth is full of cursing, deceit, and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So Esau speaks nothing good. Anytime he's saying something, it's for an ulterior motive. It's never ever for righteousness. It's never ever for a positive thing. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Like lying on the men of the Lord. Saying that we're black identity extremists, we're terrorists, we're a hate group, and saying all these various things. Well, that's persecution of the righteous. And Esau stay trying to do that. He stay trying to persecute the righteous. But we will be protected by Yahweh Shai. Verse 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privately set against the poor. So Esau, he sits in the lurking places of the villages. He got his policy enforcers, his supposed police, his law upholders. They sit around in Jake neighborhood. They do speed traps. They catch Jake. Jake can't walk down the street with a hoodie on his head and that thing, he dead on the ground, and Esau making up a lie like he always do. He lurks around in the ghettos where Jake live, and the secret places when he get behind closed doors, or he get where he think don't nobody see him. He want to do Jake a nasty one. He want to do Jake something dirty. He always do Jake dirty, I should say. You know, he murders the innocent, and our people are compared to Esau. Our people are innocent. You know, and since his eyes are privately set against the poor, so his eyes are specifically set upon Yashar Allah on purpose, because we're the poor that the Lord is talking about in His Word. You know, the lowly, the how you say, the downtrodden. His eyes are privately set against us. So guess what? He wants to persecute us. Verse 9, he lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into his net. So Esau, he just lying in wait in secret. He always sitting behind something, trying to back attack you when you're not looking. You know, he sits as a lion. A lion, they crouch down when they hunting. They crouch down so they prey can't see him, and they lay in wait until they prey get close enough. Then they come out and they attack him and they destroy him. You know, that's how Esau's doing. You know, he catch the poor, and when he do catch the poor of our people, you know what I'm saying, he draw them into a net. And what is his net? All his amenities and things that he be like, here, you can have this. You know, he give Jake all this stuff, and Jake get caught up. Verse 10, he croucheth and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong one. So he croucheth and he humbleth himself. Esau always trying to pretend like he's a nice person, like everybody likes him. We're in the time where Esau, you are hated. Esau, you are hated by your own people. You know, but that's what Esau do. He crouched down, he humbled himself. He tried to make it seem like, oh, you know, everything's all right. Want to throw that little stupid peace sign up, you know. But he do all these things to make it sound like he's so nice and so cool, so that our people will fall by his strong ones, you know, by his military, or his armed forces. The police, yes, the police is an armed force, yes, you know, and all those other, you know, the KKK and all those groups. I'm just saying groups, you know. Esau uses them too to persecute our people. But the main thing is Esau, he's trying to persecute the righteous of our people, the ones who are doing this work. You know, it's plenty of brothers that done told their testimonies. You know, plenty of Akim that done told their testimonies about Esau locking them up because they preaching the word, they preaching the scriptures. Esau don't have nothing to go on, but he gonna lock you up. He gonna make up so you disturbing the peace, this, that, and the other. That's persecution of the righteous. And he's going to try to come down one more time for the final persecution, but the Lord is going to stop it. Verse 11, he hath said in his heart, Yahweh hath forgotten. He hideth his face, he will never see it. So Esau has said in his heart, in his own mind, that the Most High has forgotten, that the Most High ain't seeing what he doing. Like the Most High is not paying attention. You got to be a foolish individual to think the Lord is not watching. The Lord is watching 24/7. His eyes are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, so you can't even hide from him. But Esau, he like to do things in the dark, behind closed doors, out of the eyes of the public, like he is hiding. But the Lord see you, Esau. And when you try to bring that persecution of the righteous, the Lord gonna block you. Let's get 2nd Esdras, chapter 15, verse 3. It says, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So we're not to fear the imaginations of Esau that is against us. You know, don't let the incredulity, don't let the judgmental jargon that Esau comes up with to come. Don't let that trouble you. Don't let that bother you. You know what I'm saying? Because the things that he speaks these things in negativity against us to try to demonize us, to make us look like the bad guy when truly Esau is the bad guy. He is the bad guy. So again, fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. So don't let Esau trouble you, because he speaks against us. In what? Persecution of the righteous. He comes against us. He makes all kind of lies and speak all kind of deceit and fraud. So fear not the imaginations of Esau. And the thing that is in Esau's imagination is that he's going to try to persecute or bring persecution of the righteous. Let's go back to Psalms. '91. This is Psalms 91. I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So surely the Most High is going to deliver us from the snare of the fowler. Who was the fowler? Esau. Because he's trying to set traps so that he can bring persecution to the righteous. The Lord says he's going to deliver us from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. That's talking about the destruction that's coming to this place. And he says, and he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings thou shalt trust. His truth shall be thy shield. So the Lord is going to cover us. He's going to give the angels charge over us to protect us. Some brothers he may give spiritual power. Other brothers the Lord is going to give the angels charge to protect us. When Esau get ready to roll up, you never know. You might see a giant chariot just materialize out of nowhere and burn Esau to pieces. Just burn him down to nothing. You know. Or they just might have when Esau come, the Lord put a chariot over a brother, and that chariot may make it where you invisible, where they can't see you. You know, so, and we're gonna trust in the protection of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, because the Lord said he's gonna protect us, and we're gonna trust in that. And the Lord is gonna protect his men. He's gonna protect his righteous from persecution. Let's continue. Let's go Psalms 124. 124. And start at verse 1. This is Psalms 124 verse 1. It says, if it had not been for the Lord Yahweh who was on our side, now may Israel say. So it's going to take the Lord being on our side in order for us to even be protected by Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, to keep Esau from even bringing persecution unto us. But if it had not been for the Most High being on our side, verse 2, if it had not been the Lord Yahweh who was on our side when men rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up quick when their wrath was kindled against us. So if it had not been for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, we would have been got jacked up long time ago. We would be messed up right now. So the Lord is on our side. You know what I'm saying? When Esau, you know, these men that's going to rise up against us, the Lord is on our side. So the Lord ain't going to let it happen. But if it had not been for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Esau would have been swallowed us up quick. It says, when their wrath was kindled against us, when Esau's wrath was kindled against us, when this truth started coming out, you know, if the Lord wasn't with us and Esau got mad, he'd have been did us a dirty number. You know, he'd have been did something to us. But he can't do nothing to us, because Yahweh Yahushua is on our side. Salakia. I'm gonna jump down. It says, blessed be Yahweh, who hath not given us as a prey to their teeth. So blessed is the Most High. Barakatah Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Blessed is the Most High. Blessed is Yahweh Shai. Blessed is Yahweh. Blessed is Yahweh Shai. Blessed be the Lord who hath not given us a prey unto Esau, a prey unto his teeth, meaning we should thank Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai for us not being delivered into the hands of Esau. Verse 7, it says, our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we are escaped. Our help is in the name of Yahweh, who made heaven and earth. So our soul is escaped out of the snare of the fowlers, meaning the Lord is going to protect us. We are protected. You know, the snare of the fowler, Esau's snare, his traps have been broken. They will not have any effect on the righteous. Of course, you know, they're gonna catch 2/3 of our people, but for the righteous, that remnant of Israel, ain't nothing gonna happen. The Lord ain't gonna allow nothing to happen, because He says our souls is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowler, as a bird that is escaped out of a trap and or a cage. And it says, and we are escaped. And it says, our help is in the name of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, who made heaven and earth. So our help is in the name. So when it comes down to it, and things get for real, guess what? We're gonna have to call on Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Them the names that you're gonna need to know to be able to protect you from the times that are coming, to protect you from the persecution of Esau. Let's go to Matthew chapter 5, verse 11. I'm going to start at verse 10. It says, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. So blessed are those which are persecuted for righteousness, and we are persecuted for righteousness. And we are blessed for that, for righteousness' sake. For ours is the kingdom of heaven. That's our benefit. That's our blessing. That's our reward. And it says, blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name's sake. So we are blessed when people revile us, when people hate us, when people are mad, when Esau hates us and he is angry. You know, and they try to persecute us, you know, pursue us, to try to oppress us, and say all kind of manner of evil things against us falsely for the sake of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. We are blessed. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that Esau is coming with his last hoorah, you know, the persecution of the righteous, we are blessed for the fact that Esau hates the fact that we are bringing out this truth, that we're preaching this truth, and we don't care that Esau don't like it, you know, or we don't care if any other nation of people don't like it. Even our own people, too bad. We doing the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. The righteous are going to be obedient unto Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. But it says, blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil things against us for the Lord's name's sake. For the Lord's sake. Calling us terrorists, calling us black identity extremists, calling us hate groups, you know, calling us false prophets, calling us thugs, liars, niggas, bums, all of that. We are blessed because those are all just men reviling us and hating us. We are blessed for that. Last point. And we're going to do this work, and it don't matter who say what. Somebody got a problem, they're just going to have a problem. They're going to have to take it up with Yahweh Yahweh Shai. You know, and I don't think that nobody is going to beat him and be like, hey, you need to put the hold on him. When the Lord say it's the family of the world, that's when the men of the Lord are going to stop talking and stop going out to the houses and the byways and stop uploading videos day in and day out, going out week in and week out. But until that day, this is what we're going to do. Just like when Peter told the, what is it? The the Sadducees and the Pharisees. But let's go to it. Verse 16, it says, there came also a multitude out of the cities round about unto Jerusalem, bringing sick folks, and them which were vexed with unclean spirits, and they were healed every one. Then the priest rose up, and all they that were with him, which is the sect of the Sadducees, and were filled with indignation. See, they was mad. Peter, on the mission for Yahweh Bahasham El-Shah, doing the work. And Peter, they was going around healing and doing miracles and bringing the truth to our people. So the wicked of our people, the Sadducees, what I'm saying, they were mad and they were filled with indignation, meaning they got mad. Verse 18, it says, and laid their hands on the apostles and put them in common prison, locked them up, brought persecution on them just because they was doing the works of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua and preaching the word and healing the sick, casting out demons and different things like that. So these wicked Mother Hubbards got mad, and grabbed them up and put them in jail. Let's continue. But the angel of the Lord Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua by night opened the prison doors and brought them forth and said, go, stand and speak in the temple to the people all the words of this life. So when the apostles, Peter and the apostles got locked up, the angel came by night and opened the prison doors and brought them forth, meaning he delivered them out of prison. And right after he delivered them out of prison, what did the angel say? He told them to go do the work of Yahweh Bahasham Yahushua. Go preach. Go preach into the temple to the people all the words of this life. Continue doing the work. Let's continue. Verse 21. And when they heard that, they entered into the temple. So straightway they was obedient. They followed what the Lord told them through the angel. And when they heard it, they entered into the temple early in the morning and taught. But the high priest came, and they that were with him, and called the council together, and all the senate of the children of Israel, and sent to the prison to have them brought. So when it came time for the Peter and the apostles to be taken out of supposed jail, they wasn't there. But let's continue. It says, verse 22, but when the officers came and found them not in the prison, they turned and told. So when it was time for them to get, Peter and the other apostles, when they went to go and get them to bring them, either before the council or the court, the officer that came and didn't find them there. They wasn't there. And when the officers went, they they went back and told, their authorities or their heads. Verse 23, saying, the prison truly found we shut with all safety, and the keepers standing without before the doors. But when we had opened, we found no man within. So they were saying, we made sure we locked them up. We made sure they was locked up tight. But when they went in, they ain't found nobody in the prison. They ain't found nobody within the jail cell or the prison or whatever it was that was in. Verse 24, now when the high priest and the captain of the temple and the chief priest heard these things, they doubted of them whereunto this would grow. So the chief priests and the captains of the temple, when they heard this, they was like, oh crap. They was doubted because they ain't want nobody to find out. But let's continue. It says again, now when the high priest and the captain of the temple and the chief priest heard these things, they doubted of them whereunto this would grow. Verse 25, then came one and told them, behold, the men whom ye put in prison are standing in the temple teaching the people. So there you go. While they were standing around trying to figure out what was going on, somebody came and like, hey, they in the temple preaching. You know what I'm saying? The ones you locked up, yeah, they out there, they in the temple, they preaching, they teaching the people. Verse 26. Then the captain went with the officers and brought them without violence, for they feared the people, lest they should have been stoned. So when they found out that the apostles, Peter and the apostles, were teaching, they went back and got them. But they did it without violence, because they were scared of what the people was going to do, because they didn't want to be stoned. They didn't want to feel that wrath. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know you wrong. You know, when you coming up against somebody that's not doing nothing, and then you fear in the eyes of man, that's how you know you wrong. You dead wrong. But let's continue. Because they feared the people, lest they should have been stoned. They were scared they was going to die if they was messing with the men of the Lord. But verse 27. And when they had brought them, they sat them before the council, and the high priest asked them, saying, Did we not straitly command you that you should not teach in this name? And behold, ye have filled Jerusalem with your doctrine, and intend to bring this man's blood upon us. So when Peter and the apostles were before the council yet again, they was like, well, didn't we straightly command you, man? I mean, didn't we tell you not to teach in that name? Didn't we tell you not to preach the truth, basically? Didn't we tell you to stop that, you know, trying to stifle the truth? And this was persecution, by the way. This was persecution, because they were being persecuted for righteousness. And they were saying, but didn't we tell you not to teach in the name of Yahweh Shai? And it says, and behold, now look, you done filled everybody in Jerusalem with all this truth and with all this righteousness, and now you intend to bring this man's blood upon us. They're talking about Yahweh Shai, our Lord and Savior, who died. And like, you intend to bring his blood upon us. But what they failed to realize, that the Lord's blood been upon their hands, because they opted to have him killed, to be crucified. So the Lord's blood, Yahweh Shai's blood, was already on their hands. And this is what Peter said. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, We ought to obey Yahweh rather than men. Point blank, period. So while Esau talking about you can't say this and you can't do this, and want to try to lock us up and keep us from bringing this truth forth, guess what we tell them? We going to obey Yahweh rather than men, and that's what we do. We obey the Most High rather than men. We don't care I don't care what a man say. Well, you can't. I'm going to preach this truth. The Most High gave me the opportunity. He called me to it, so I'm going to do it. You know, and that's what we're supposed to do. You know, let them know we ought to obey Yahweh rather than men. We not going to not preach this truth because you don't want to hear it. We ain't gonna not preach the truth because you trying to you making up lies and calling us all kind of various negative things, rather than who we really are, which are men of the Lord, prophets, apostles, evangelists, pastors, ministers, teachers. We are all those things. But Esau wanna call us everything negative under the sun. But this was nothing but another excerpt or another passage in the scriptures of the persecution of the righteous. So, yeah, they're going to try to persecute us further, but the Lord ain't going to allow Esau to do nothing to us. True enough, some brothers may get actually locked up, you know, a brother or two may be a martyr, you know, for Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai's sake, but their end is the kingdom. So Esau is going to try to continue the persecution of the righteous. With that, Shalom.